Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. I wanted to talk to you about how a narcissist will become you, and that's the goal by the time the relationship ends. I don't know if they, as a young child, start out believing this, but by the time they're young adults, they are aware of this. So let's jump in. So when you meet the narcissist, they come in, they love bomb you, and they get you to love and to trust them. So they can come in, and when you love and trust them, then you let them all the way in. You let all your boundaries down. They have this fake facade up, wearing somebody else's energy, their last source supply, or the one they're devaluing to get you. And what they need to do is align with your vibration, because theirs is lower, but they're faking with somebody else's energy. So they may be somewhat vibing a little bit higher than they normally would. That's why they do it so fast. It's a rush. That's why they wear the mask, they rush in. That's why they'll marry you fast, because they have to do it before the energy slips and you start to see the mask slip. But when they come in, they will love bomb you, and that gets you into your ego self and out of your spirit man position. So then it kind of disconnects you from your higher self and from God. It's harder for you to do anything, to pray, read the word, or think from your higher thinking. They get you in your emotional state, and your ego is your emotional state. It's the poor emotional state of the ego, because what they do is they make it unbalanced. They love bomb you, so they put you on a pedestal, and then you're like this king or queen for a few days. And then they start to slowly and insidiously devalue you down to nothing. And then they perform this hot and cold, and they'll test you, and then they'll ghost you, basically. They will discard you, move on to somebody else, and it will be crushing. In that last fight, there will be some sort of projection and a big argument to get you to be reactive, because they usually go for reactive people that aren't completely healed from childhood wounds, which means you have some reactions in you. And they know how to trigger those by this point in time, and they trigger them all out of you. Or they'll hit you with you accepting guilt that's not yours. But they'll either project onto you stuff that you didn't do, and you'll accept it. You will react. And when you react, you let all your emotional walls down, and you give up your energy. And it's also consent, covenant, and contract by accepting guilt and apologizing and things like that. Or being gaslit into it, doesn't matter. It's very easy for them to do it when you continue to stay in a relationship with them, because that's what this world's built on: covenants, contracts, and consents. And letting your boundaries down means you don't love yourself enough. But what they will end up doing is pouring all of their negative fuel, I call it sin soul energy, into you. And they will steal all of your good soul energy and walk off with all your fuel. And you will be empty, and you will feel like they did: anxious, paranoid, depressed, soulless, and empty. And it will take you a long time to come out of that. They will be acting like you, and then they will run a smear campaign. They will say that you did all the things that they actually did to you when you were almost perfect to them. I'm telling you, when you're in a narcissistic relationship, you treat them better than you've ever treated anybody else in any other relationship. So it's really hard for you to feel bad about what you shoulda, coulda, or woulda did. You did too much, but you did too much to overcompensate, because you didn't love yourself and you didn't pay attention to your own downfall. So this is what they do, and then they will go out there, wear your energy, mimic you, and they will tell everybody that you did everything that they actually did to you. All of that abuse, all of that cheating, lying, and abuse. And because you're wearing their energy, you're going to kind of act like it, because you have to burn off that negative energy and get your soul back out of empty. You know, when your tank's on empty, and it takes a while, it takes several months. Meanwhile, they're living it up on your chosen source of supply fuel. They're manifesting with your fuel. You're in dark, dire straits, and you're only manifesting lack. Money is falling out of your hands. Things are breaking. Everybody hates you. You're having trouble everywhere you turn until you burn that energy off, and then they will stalk you. And if you start to gain your fuel back, they're going to try and come back, do it all over again, and nail you and bust you to pieces again and again and again until you learn the lesson that God's trying to tell you. The narcissist comes into your life to get you to look inside and to heal those childhood wounds that maybe you didn't know about. Maybe you didn't know they were there, or you wanted to work on yourself, but you didn't know how, because you didn't know what was going on. Anytime you have a trigger moment where you will react instead of respond, that's a trigger moment. You need to find out what triggered that and deal with it. But a lot of times, staying with no distractions in the house alone and meditating will help you to go inside and to see what's going on. A lot of times we like to distract ourselves and either be around people or have TV on or be doing something fun but that's not what you need. Especially when you've come out of a narcissistic relationship, you need to solve these issues. But what it does is it shows you where you came from. You came from a narcissistic family. You were groomed for this and you didn't know it. A people pleaser. You loved people to death and you were a giver until you were almost non-existent. And you can't do that. You have to learn to assert yourself, have good boundaries, and love yourself. Think of yourself first before you think of others. You don't have to worry about being a pompous jerk. That's what we're always taught and what's drilled into our head. But we were never pompous. We were always humble. So you don't have to worry about necessarily thinking about yourself. Are you thinking about yourself too much? Chances are no. Because if you're not a narcissist and you're an empath, you will never get to that level. It's just you need to put yourself first and make sure that you love yourself enough to be able to manifest out and about abundance, because you can't do it if you don't love yourself. To live a good life and not allow people to distract you and gaslight you into giving your all to somebody who doesn't deserve it, who's not giving it back. No reciprocity. When they come in and they do the love bomb, devalue, discard, in the love bomb phase, yeah, they pump you up, but it's to get you to love and to trust them real quick. But also it's to get you trained up to know how to treat them. They want to be pampered. They want to be praised, loved, admired, adored. And then when things go wrong, they want to be feared, and that's the next best thing. And they want to dupe you, break you down, bust you to pieces, and take all you have. If you were to kick the bucket, they wouldn't care, because they don't love y'all. Always follow their actions. Never listen to just the words, because narcissists will flood you with great words when you know the actions aren't lining up. So your intuition is key. You got to hone that intuition and be assertive. You need to believe in yourself, back yourself up, and build good boundaries to where you keep these folks out of your life. You may deal with them out in the world because you have to, because you can't control the world. But in your inner circle and in your love partner relationship, your innermost circle, you don't need these people around, because those circles, those two, the innermost circle and then the friend circle, those are circles that are contracts, covenants, and consents, which means you're allowing it and you're making agreements and you're teaming up with them. So you have a price to pay when you make contracts, consents, and covenants to spend your time, your money, your time loving them, taking care of them, housing them, listening to them, getting counsel from them, rubbing shoulders with evil. And it's out of consent because you decided you wanted to, not because you're out in the world working and you got to work around these individuals or go to the bank or the store or the restaurant and deal with them. Then you have to pay for that. It's either going to come back because it's a good person, you'll get positive reaping. If it's a bad person, you're going to get negative reaping because you're somehow connected to them. It's a web. And the more people an evildoer has in their web, the less negative reaping, or what people in the world call karma, I like to call it negative reaping, get. Because when the negative reaping hits them, it hits the whole web of people. And they all get a little bit. And they don't even know it. That's why you want to watch. Some people don't know it. The closer ones will. If you're the love partner, you're going to know it because you're going to catch a lot of that negative reaping because you did a lot for them. But the friends, they will even get it. And they'll get it, and it will be little bits. But they'll wonder why they can't advance. And it could just be because they teamed up with a friend. That's not good. But because they've agreed in a covenant, consent, or a contract with them to hang out with them, to be friends with them, to back them up, to provide for them, to hang out with them, to give counsel to them or get counsel from them, you have to get some of that negative reaping. There's no other way around it. So, if you can give me a like, subscription, and a thumbs up. Till next time, focus on your divine justice. Manifest great things in your life. Abundance. Love y'all. Peace be out.